I'm Wendy Rutledge, and this is Palm Beach TV, a production of the Palm Beach Civic Association. Here's what's straight ahead on this week's Island News. The island is buzzing about building. Preservation versus new construction, zero lot lines. We'll delve into it. He's the newest member to the Palm Beach Town Council. What are his priorities? Is it even possible to attain the iconic Palm Beach manicured garden look with only native plants? You might be surprised. And wow, it's our word on wellness. All coming up next on Palm Beach TV.
The biggest area of study, I think, for the town in the near future is making the real threat of sea level rise a priority for the community. We're surrounded by water on all sides. The town's been fortunate to avoid major storms, but I think we want to make sure the town's prepared with a resiliency plan that's implemented to best protect the property in the island and the beautiful place we call home from storms and sea level rise.
Newly elected council member Ted Cooney shares with Palm Beach TV one of his top priorities he wants to focus on when he begins his term next month. Meantime, his years as head of the Landmarks Preservation Commission could lend valuable insight to the council as members wade through the highly detailed 300-plus page historic site survey done once every 10 years. This document cited some 2,200 properties as, quote, potential historical resources, in a climate of seeming increased interest among council members to accelerate the pace of landmarking.
I'm not an opponent of change. We just need to make sure it's good change, and that's a balance of new construction that's sympathetic and fits into our town, and preserving the things that are irreplaceable that contribute to the character of the town.
I'm standing in front of this new construction. The building you see over there, 2 stories, which is many times larger than the existing properties on Indian Road, like the one you see behind me right here, small and quaint. So the question is oversized okay or an eyesore?
Within 300 feet of our house, we have 5 current construction projects going on right now.
Susan Gary, tucked away in her quaint, cozy home on Onondaga, is surrounded by the sawing, hammering, heavy truck presence of new homes and renovations going on all around her. She is one of many longtime residents grumbling about the inconvenience and irritation caused by constant construction. But it's the oversized new builds that really bother her.
You have this mix of very high, big, square box versus the smaller, older homes, and it creates this very incongruous, not complementary appearance in the neighborhood.
Sometimes these possibly out-of-scale new builds are squeezed onto one lot, other times spread across 2 lots.
Some of the lots, the small lots being combined so that we have one enormous house on 2 lots that used to be 2 smaller houses. And so it creates this dissonance in the neighborhood.
Gary says a lot of this out-of-scale building has been permitted because the building codes are outdated.
Our zoning codes have not been revised since the 1970s, so they're very dated.
Town Council does have its eye on this issue. Meantime, with a slew of new residents wanting a piece of Palm Beach, the influx creates a dilemma. You are an established resident in a beautiful, quaint property. And there are new people moving in here and flooding Palm Beach and wanting to kind of make it bigger, better, whatever. It's a balancing act, isn't it?
It certainly is, and I understand that, and I think that's called compromise.
A couple weeks ago, some folks with cell phones came right up to a table of diners right here at an outside table like this at Cafe l'Europe and started shooting video of them eating their dinner. Turns out those people were part of a self-appointed group known as the First Amendment Auditors.
There was a self-appointed First Amendment auditor that was recording people eating over here at Cafe Europe. Unfortunately, you go out to dinner, you don't expect for somebody to come by with a cell phone and start recording you. That was planned, though. They were expecting some sort of response, either from the maitre d' or from the police department. Unfortunately for them, they didn't get the response they want.
The response they seem to want to elicit is something like how this public servant at the Delray Beach courthouse reacted when approached by an unknown citizen recording him on her cell.
If you have me on video, please shut it off.
Why?
Because I don't know who you are, you don't know who I am, and this is a public building. I don't need you to be putting me on video. Thank you.
Exactly, sir. This is a public building. You work for the public, and there's no expectation of privacy in public. You have to get a job in the private sector, sir.
This First Amendment auditor's business is nothing new to the Palm Beach Police Department. In fact, one of the more prominent online personalities with the group actually came here to the Palm Beach Police Department, got her cell phone out, and shot video of the lobby area, which is as far as she could go. That is because these First Amendment auditors are generally careful to stay only within public spaces. But police spokesperson Ogrodnik has this advice if you ever find yourself being videotaped by a stranger.
If someone's standing there recording you while you're eating outside, and you're in a public place and they're in a public place, if you're not comfortable, disengage. If it doesn't bother you, just keep eating. You do not have to interact with them at all. You're not compelled to interact with them. Eventually, if they get no response, they'll go away.
One other word of warning from our friends at the Palm Beach PD, this time about phony scam calls claiming to help you get a COVID-19 vaccine for a price.
If someone calls and says, hey, pay this fee, we'll get you into the top of the line, you'll be first in line for the vaccination. That's a scam. There's no fees for wait lists or vaccination lists. So make sure if you get some call like that, eliciting some sort of monetary fee, any fee at all, call us right away and we'll do our best to investigate it and track it down.
Behold the brand new tidal garden right here at Bradley Park, adjacent to the Intercoastal Waterway, which in the past has really been prone to flooding. Well, this is an innovative, almost zen-like new space that really is a combination of form and function. Flooding brought on by occasional king tides is nothing unusual for this stretch along the lake trail by Bradley Park. The water overflow is not just a safety problem for users of the lake trail, but presents potential erosion-related problems as well. But this lovely, tranquil garden is in fact a very practical use of rock paths throughout, which double as drainage areas for excess water. In effect, the team who dreamed up this tidal garden found a way to create essentially a beautifully landscaped French drain. Here's how Councilwoman Bobby Lindsay sees it. Quote, as a town council member who is also a member of the Garden Club of Palm Beach, I am proud of our Garden Club's use of our civic funds budget to collaborate with SMI Landscape Architecture and the town of Palm Beach to create this beautiful and functional tidal garden in Bradley Park. I am looking forward to seeing the tidal garden in action next fall during our king tides. It's part of a growing trend, the use of more native plants here on the island in local landscaping. But can you achieve that manicured look using only native plants? Let's find out.
These are pigeon plums, and they will get a lot bigger if we let them, that are fabulous to use in place of the ficus hedges.
Linda Beatty has spent years refining her knowledge and usage of native plants in her garden. A native of Palm Beach herself, it wasn't easy making that switch from the highly manicured hedges and gardens she grew up with.
It took me a long time to become chemical-free, to finally just say, don't come back, I don't need you, which is obvious. There's no reason for fertilizers or any pesticides whatsoever. This is mimosa, sensitive plant it's also called. It is a wonderful ground cover. This is creeping salvia. Some people call it river sage, and it's a fabulous ground cover. This is frog fruit, and it can be walked on. It can replace your grass.
What do you get when you go back to the native type of plants?
The life in the garden, which perhaps you can see over the summer. The Atala butterflies, which are endangered, were so thick you almost had to work your way through them in the yard. And that's fun, and it's fun to watch the caterpillars form their chrysalis and become butterflies. This, of course, is the wonderful Kunti, where the Atala butterfly comes from.
Linda suggests a visit to Pan's garden on the island to see and learn more about these hardy native plants. In the meantime, you can find Linda's native plant list on our website or by clicking the link beneath this newscast. In case you're getting bored with your regular old workout routine, you ought to check out what's new at the Mandel Recreation Center, which is this week's Wow Word on Wellness.
Thank you, Wendy. Today's Word on Wellness brings us to the gym at the Rec Center. It really is a wow. We hope you'll come over and see it. It's bright, it's sunny, it's big, there's lots of fabulous equipment. And Stephanie Bogdan, our fitness manager, is here today to tell us a little bit about the gym and the fitness program.
Thank you. Yes, we pride ourselves on keeping it super clean, and we're operating by an appointment-only system, so we allow 5 members in at a time so that we can all maintain our physical distance and stay safe.
And Stephanie, how would someone sign up to come over and use the gym?
If you're a resident of the town of Palm Beach, you're welcome to join for a month up to a full year. And we also have drop-ins too. As long as they also make the appointment to work out, anyone can just drop in and pay the drop-in fee.
And what are some of your favorite things in this gym?
We have some really state-of-the-art equipment. My favorite is the Woodway, although it's probably tied with the water grinder. And then of course, all of the fun functional equipment that we have too.
That sounds great, Stephanie. We hope everybody will take the time to come over and check out the fitness center at the Rec Center.
So that's it for this week's news. If you are not a member of the Palm Beach Civic Association, we hope you'll join us. If you are a member, please renew. And we will see you next week on Palm Beach TV, a production of the Palm Beach Civic Association, where membership matters.